Hello everybody, hello knitters. This is Haarlem calling. My name is Melanie. I am a knitter, hand dyer and software developer from Haarlem in the Netherlands, and this is my podcast. I would like to do a knit along, and one of the sweaters or pullovers that I have wanted to knit for a long time is the MAE sweater by Andrea Mowry. I think it's really nice because it's like quite long and you can wear it over leggings and or skinny jeans, and you know that's stuff that I wear quite a lot. And the sleeves are really short, so it doesn't take a long time. Like when you, because knitting sleeves is apparently this like 18th circle of hell. So I think that would be a really great idea, a really good knit. I have everything for it. Needles. This is Gilead. Long word. It's the Aster colorway. So if people would also like to knit this pullover, is it a pullover though? It's a tunic. Fine, whatever. Tunic. I'm creating a group on Ravelry for this podcast, and then putting like a thread with all the information about the knit along in there. I'll have it linked in the YouTube thingamajig below. Apparently you need rules for knit alongs or something. It cannot just be knit this sweater somewhere around this time, and if I pick your name out of a hat you win prizes, which is really like more my thing than here are the 17,000 rules you need to adhere to take part. I really don't care. Next point on my agenda is my FO. I have finally finished my Rebel shawl. And I haven't woven in my ends, and it's not blocked yet, so it doesn't really look great. It's brioche, so it really needs a good blocking to look good, because now this is all like frilly. And if I look at the picture on the pattern, oh hang on, wrong one. Yeah, it doesn't look like that at all. This still looks all flat and nice. And this looks all lumpy bumpy. This pattern is by Knit Graffiti, Leslie Ann Robinson, and it sort of tributes to Carrie Fisher. I just really like the pattern with the flowery bits at the bottom. But I can tell you, I really wanted to finish this shawl, and then you sort of go through a couple of sections and then the flowery bits are at the end, and oh, itchy. Like you get to here and you think, oh, I'm almost done, and then you have all these like brioche increases and decreases and knit togethers and separate and increase more, and I was a bit fed up with it after a while. But I really wanted to start on the MAE tunic, so I thought I'll just plow through this, and I've been kind of moping on the couch knitting this. It just looks weird now if I wear it. It is. It looks really small as well. This cannot possibly be it. So okay. I really, really hope this is going to be better with blocking. I really like the yarns that I chose. This is Walk Collection. I think I have the tags here. Come on, tags. You can do it. Oh, there we go. It's the Cottage Merino, and so this is, I couldn't read this. I had to ask my sister what they said. She goes, oh, it's cream cherry brittle. Okay. And that's the white colour. It's cream cherry brittle. I think it's called that because it has like a pinkish undertone in most lights, Not really when I was sitting on the couch in the evening knitting on this, but then we have like yellow lights inside, and I think that was sort of undercutting the pinkishness of the yarn, so it just looked white to me most of the time, but it's really nice, like a pink glow. It doesn't show on camera, but it doesn't matter. And then the other side is the masala colorway. Oh yeah, it says so here. Masala, whatever. This yarn is wonderful. It's really, really soft. Very, I don't know, like, it's a single ply, plumpy, fluffy, plushy, softness, goodness. It was wonderful to knit with. It really is lovely. Sometimes single ply can have quite a bit of like those little nubs and slubs and things like that. This didn't really. I think I encountered like one or two, not many at all. I really like, so it has like, the cream cherry brittle has like these like green and brown speckles, and then at the bottom it like increasingly had like these light blue patches, and I really, really like that. It's really pretty. Yes, so that needs a good blocking and its ends woven in, but I feel it counts as a finished object. I have a half finished object. So I'm working on the Mayfield mitts, as you may remember from previous episodes. I finished one. So, this is it. I used Jameson and Smith for this. They don't have like fancy colour names for their yarns, so it's the dark green one and the white one, I think. But isn't that pretty? I think this is so lovely. The only thing I'm worried about is there's quite a big chunk of your fingers are not covered, and then there's quite a large chunk of your arms are covered. And I'm thinking these are going to be either too warm or too cold. There is not going to be any like middle ground. They are really pretty though, so I think I'll just suck it up, but I don't know. I think like a shorter one, if I would knit these again, I would probably make the cuff a bit longer at the top. But they are really pretty, and this yarn blocks out great, because on the needles it was kind of like this one. It's a bit lumpy. It's not so bad actually. But blocking this is fantastic. It really sort of like puffs out, becomes very pretty. So I'm really happy with this. I really need to finish the other one so I have a matching set, but you know, it'll happen when it'll happen. I have some whips. I'm working on the Mercury Socks, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm almost ready to put the heels in. So I've increased for the gusset. I think these are so pretty. Isn't that lovely? I love that pattern. So I cast on 64 stitches. Is that right? So, yeah, 64 on 2.25mm needles, And I used to usually do 60, and my thinking was the lace is going to make it tighter, and so I'll just add extra stitches so that they will fit. It's actually pretty dang stretchy, so I'm not sure if these are not going to be way too big. Because they'll be fine when you like wash them and just wear them, but then after a day, you know, are they gonna be like slipping and sliding all over the place and being generally uncomfortable? I don't know. But I think they're so pretty that it sort of merits continuing, and yeah, I really like them. Happy with that. I usually do one ball and then knit from that, but I thought I'll just, you know, see how I like it doing it in 2 balls. I seem to end up with the same amount of twisting, so it doesn't really solve any problem for me. So it's just in 2 balls now, and I haven't got very far yet. But this is, I think, pretty accurate of what the rest of the sock will be. And I'm adding ribbing at the top of the foot so that they will be extra stretchy, because these are going to be a gift for somebody's birthday that is coming up at the end of March. He's already seen me knit these, but doesn't matter. I'm also terrible at keeping these things secret, and the only project bag I had left over is see-through. I'm a master of secrets. Last episode, I had a section on Dutch knitting history, and I discussed these mittens. Oh no, they were gloves. It's these gloves, and they found them, and they were showcased in a museum here in the Netherlands, and they're a bit of a mystery because the date on the gloves is doesn't seem to be right, and like the star seems to be like a Scandinavian pattern, but then this rim seems to be more Baltic. This salt and pepper texture seems to be more from the UK area, but then this initials is more like a Dutch sort of like Friesland area type of doing the initials. And then I decided I would do a sort of modern rendition of that, and it's totally not ready at all, but I have been working on it. And what I did first was just get some cheap yarn. I like for Christmas I used to do a lot of those Arna and Carlos Christmas balls, and I just use whatever like cheap red yarn, because they're going to be in a tree. It's not, you know, they just have to last a long time and look good, so they don't have to be super fancy. So I have a lot of red and white yarn, and I want to do these gloves. I want to make them like in a mitten pattern, and I want to do these colours because it's a brown and a sort of undyed white, like a cream, which are natural sheep colours, but I didn't have that lying around, so I had the red and the red and white, and so I've been kind of working on that pattern. I've modified it quite a bit, because these gloves, they've been made into a pattern by the museum, and to get gauge on these you would need a 1.5 millimeter needle and use a lace weight yarn. And personally I think lace weight and 1.5 on anything would be extremely boring knit. So I've upped them to 2.5 and I'm using a fingering weight, which is already, you know, not the fastest knit in the universe, but that's okay. So I've been playing around with this. I'll probably change the back. I feel like there's too much happening down below. This was just like to sort of like work out ideas in my head and to see it, how it would actually knit up. And now that I see it, I can sort of like take those ideas and, you know, go further. What I really want. So I'm still working on that pattern, and that's definitely going to come out when I'm done with them. Next on my list is I went to a knitting event. It's not really a knitting event. It was like a knitting book event in Stephen and Penelope's yarn shop in Amsterdam last Saturday because of this book. It's called Marv Lyle, A New Direction in Knitting, and it is pretty popular at the moment. The book is by Anna Maltz. That's her. Hello, Anna. I talked to her and she's really nice. And yeah, so what she's done is sort of combine Fair Isle and marling so that you can use 2 colours but then do like a 3-colour Fair Isle pattern. I'm going to look for an example that shows that perfectly. So this is a sweater, and then you can see that it looks like it's 3 colours, but really she uses 2 yarns, and like the 3rd section she's just mauled the 2 yarns together. I think it's really clever. There is one pattern in this book that really spoke to me because it looks a bit like a Chanel coat. I think the pattern is called the Shantae. Oh, here we go. The Shantae cardigan. I really like it. This book is full of information. It is insane, like the amount of explanation and detail that go into this, because a lot of knitting pattern books are like, I was inspired by rain, here are the patterns. But this one, I guess because it's like a whole different technique thing, there's just loads to talk about, and Anna is just hilarious and I really like her tone of voice. So also, like, if you see what the prices of knitting knitting books these days, they're usually around €30 and this one's 25, so it's really good value. And then also she was so nice to sign it for me, so that was really exciting. I came home from that event like buzzing. I don't think I slept a lot afterwards because I was just in bed going and like ideas bouncing up in my brain. So that was super fun. That was not the only book I got these past 2 weeks. I have also received my Pom Pom magazine. This issue, the theme was a postage stamp, and every pattern is like inspired by a stamp. This is the Darumi sweater, and you can really tell like this inspiration. At the moment I really want to knit the cablegram hat because I have some yarn that would be super perfect for that. I would, however, make it a smidge bigger because this, I don't know, this seems to be like the style of hats that people are making these days. And maybe my head's just too big. Possible. But I really like a bit more of a slouchy fit. Ooh, that reminds me. Remember all those hours I put in my sock head hat? I lost that. I was picking up my son from daycare. He walked into a door, smashed his head. I was so warm, I took off my knits and helped him, obviously, put some, like a wet cloth on his face. And he was okay. There was nothing wrong. And then we went home. And I came home and realised my hat was gone. And nobody knows where it is. So, obviously, somebody thought, that's a really nice glittery hat. I'm stealing that. Bastards. It's always the same. Anyway, I lose my knits left, right and centre though. Yesterday, I was picking up Indian food and I come in the door and I only have one mitten left. The other was on the street. And I was already panicking. Derek, I've lost my mitten. And he was like, I'm sure it's somewhere outside because that's where you just came from. And so it was. I'm such an idiot. I think if my head was not screwed on, I'd just leave it in the train. I swear. I don't take the train anymore. I'd leave it in the bus. Probably even worse. Oh well. I would like to take this little moment to give a shout out to my nephew Lupin. Hey Lupin, who is an awesome little guy, and yes, his mum knits sweaters, my sister, and she is also super great. So hello. He is really lucky though. She's like knit him like the flax sweater, and then she's put like a Zelda design top stitched over it. What like young boy wouldn't want Zelda sweaters knit by your mother? Brilliant. Anyway, that was not the last book. I also got in the mail this book. There's a piece of thread because that's how I know where I am. This is the Mindfulness in Knitting, and I saw this book on somebody's podcast who was reading it, and they looked really calm and centered, and so I thought maybe I need to read this book and then I will be calm and centered. I don't think mindfulness is for me. I am enjoying this as like a bedtime read. But it's a little floaty for me. I also got some other stuff. I had expected this to be extremely similar to Jameson and Smith's, but I have a feeling this is a little bit plumpier. I'm not sure. And the Jameson and Smith's feels a bit waxier. I noticed when I was blocking my Mayfield mitts that I just like left them in a little soak. When I came back, quite a bit of the lanolin had like left the yarn and was floating on top of the bowl, which was a bit gross, but oh well. And that makes me a little bit worried because does the yarn not need the lanolin to stay waterproof or something? I don't know what mittens do, but anyway, doesn't matter. They are lovely blocked. But so I had these, and then I thought I also want other colours because as I said I think it was last episode, I ordered some patterns from Pia Kammerborn from the Kammerbornia podcast, and so I ordered this to make her shine mittens, and I think these will look great together. Very nice. Because I am So ready to cast on for my MAE sweater. I had a look at the pattern. I always put them in these things these days, and it really works for me. So it says you need suggested needles, US 10.5, which is 6.5 millimeters, and US size 11, which is 8 millimeters. And I did not have those sizes. So I went to the Shawl, which is the yarn store in Rotterdam website. They always have these cute little packages, liquor needles, and oh, here it is, sorry. I was considering buying the set of these circulars, but it's not that I mind about the cost. I mean, things cost what they cost. It's just that I didn't know if I would like them. And I don't want to spend money on things that I use once and then decide, actually, these needles are shit. So I just thought I'll just buy some loose ones, try them on this sweater, and then if I do really like them, I can buy them, ask them for my birthday, something like that. And if I don't like them, I'll just throw them in a box and never look at them again, and it'll be fine. So I'm really excited to start using these. I'm actually surprised that I have managed to finish my Rebel shawl and not cast these on already, or not cast on the MAE sweater. So I think that knit along is going to be super fun, and I really hope other people sign up for that. I have nowhere near the amount of subscribers to have a knit along. I think this morning I had 81, and I'm so thankful for all of you. And I think it's great that people subscribe and comment and like what I have to say. But I'm not really sure that out of 80 people, many will be wanting to knit this tunic. However, I think it's a great looking tunic. And if somebody wants to join the knit along, that would be amazing. And, I'm going to have prizes. I dye yarn, so there's definitely yarn prizes, but there'll be other things, project bags, I'm starting to collect some prizes already. Even if there's just one other person that wants to knit this thing with me, I'll be happy. It'll be great. It'll be something we can do together. So I'm sure there'll be more people, right? There must be more people who want to do this. Yes, so thank you for watching. This was a little bit of a rambly episode, but as I said, I just got back from the supermarket and I just hate the supermarket so much. I hate it. It's always... So we have a couple of chains of supermarkets in the Netherlands, and the biggest one is Albert Heijn. So if you want to get anything decent, you need to go to Albert Heijn, which is already... fine. And then we have one which is okay-ish close by, but it's like literally the only big supermarket that is in Haarlem Noord, which is where I live. And so like half of the city does their shopping on a Sunday. I don't know why. It's always crowded. They close at 6 on Sundays, which is I don't get it. It's also, I used to live in Amsterdam, and supermarkets were open until 10 or 11 in the evening, and you could, do your shopping whenever. I feel like I'm being pressured into doing this whole song and dance on a Sunday that I doesn't fit my non-schedule. It's annoying. And oh well. The good thing is they have every spring they give out free seeds for when you're shopping. So the amount of like money you spend, and then for every 15 euros you spend, you get like a little bucket with seeds in it. And so I got 3 this afternoon. So I have seeds for sunflowers, seeds for cherry tomatoes, and seeds for something else. I don't know, something boring like endives or something like that. But I'm really excited about sunflower and the cherry tomatoes. And I try to do these every year and it never works. They're always like, it starts out really enthusiastic and it grows, and then I have like this little green thing about yay high, and then I forget to water it and I kind of lose interest, and it's really very typical of my personality, I think. I don't like things, I'm obsessed, and I'm like obsessed, and then like halfway through I kind of lose interest. So I won't. Maybe another episode I'll talk about all the sports and hobbies I had as a kid, because I would do something and then, be bored with it after 3 months. And my mum was always like, if you really don't like it, it's fine with me. You don't have to go. I'm not making you do anything. So it's not her fault that I'm lucky that she didn't make me do shit or that I didn't want, because I think that's a horrible thing to do to your child. But oh well. It also speaks of my career as a non-journalist, non-communication specialist. Oh well, at least I do software development now, and I think that's interesting. So we'll see for how long. Do you have these problems? Talk to a specialist. Anyway, the light's going. It's getting dark. I see all the neighbours are Dutch, so they're eating their dinner at 5:30. So I won't be doing an episode until Scotland, because not next week, but the week after that, there is the Edinburgh Yarn Festival. So when I've uploaded this, it's probably like Wednesday. So on that Wednesday next week, there is the Edinburgh Yarn Festival, to which I am going, and I'm super excited about that. And so there won't be anything in between. And I think because I took a day or 2 days off after Edinburgh Yarn Festival to sort of like calm down, so I think I'll have a podcast after that. So probably in like 2 weeks time after you've seen this, there will be another episode of me buying all the things in Scotland. Super excited. I've been to Scotland when I was 9 with my parents, and it was really, really boring because my mum was like heavily into castles, and I think we saw about 18 of them. It was dreadful. And the only thing, like, good thing about it, because we quickly figured out that every castle had like a tea room, and you could eat scones and jam and that white creamy stuff that they have on scones. And so we were like, okay, we'll just quickly go through the stupid castle. Really boring. I mean, thinking back as an adult, they were actually really interesting, and they had like ghost stories, and it was really cool and looked amazing. And it's great that the whatever Society of Scotland has preserved all these castles. It's actually pretty incredible. But yeah, I was a 9-year-old. I had younger sisters. We were not interested. So we'll see how it goes this year. Sorry, Mum. Okay. See you all next time. Bye.